Good morning, everyone, or should I say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, seeing as we have a truly global representation of attendees here today. My name is Denise Whitehead. I'm the Development Manager at the World Technology Universities Network, and I'm really pleased that you could join us here this morning to speak with Dr. Ammar AlBalushi and Mullika Sungsanit. A formal introduction of whom I will come to in a moment. As always, I just want to cover off a little bit of housekeeping for any attendees. There is an opportunity, you should be able to ask questions in the Q&A on the webinar, and at the end of Dr. AlBalushi's presentation, we will put any questions that you have to him. Either you can write them in the chat, or we will allow you to unmute yourself and you can ask them directly. But during the presentation, we just ask that everybody stay muted throughout. Those of you who don't know, although I'm sure you wouldn't be here if you didn't, just a little bit of background about the World Technology Universities Network. So the network is a global network of technology-focused universities, our diverse membership being united by a commitment to the inclusive advancement of sustainable scientific and technology teaching and research. And our members demonstrate a commitment to truly equitable innovation for the benefit of people and place. So our members, of which there are 19, spread right across the world, deliver teaching, research and innovation with direct benefits to people and society. They drive technical and social innovation and entrepreneurship and develop graduates who are global citizens and capable of being the leaders of the future. Each institution works closely with local, national and international government, industry and other organizations, promoting interdisciplinary cooperation and demonstrable impact. Which brings us on to one of our flagship activities, and the reason that we are all here today is the WTUN exchange program. So this series is looking at inviting participants of our 22-23 exchange program and recipients of funding as they reflect on their experience, the connections and collaborations formed, and the future plans following their exchange via the WTUN's exchange program fund. We aim to highlight the impact of these partnerships and inter-network collaborations, and each speaker is also invited to deliver a short presentation of their current research focus. So kicking us off in the new year, and for the first of this series, we are joined today by Dr. Ammar AlBalushi, who's the Head of Faculty of Business Management at Majan University, Oman, and we will be joined towards the end of the presentation by Dr. Mullika Sungsanit, Vice Rector of Research, Innovation and Entrepreneurship at Suranaree University of Technology, Thailand, who was the host of Dr. Ammar AlBalushi's visit to their institution late summer last year. So without further ado, I'd like to hand you over and invite Dr. Ammar AlBalushi to share his presentation and talk to us about his experience visiting SUT. Over to you, Dr. Ammar.
Thank you very much for this kind introduction, Denise, and I'd like to thank WTUN for sponsoring this visit to SUT, and I'd like to thank again Dr. Mullika for her generous hospitality and her team, absolutely. This was a unique visit for us. We started, and we were very excited for joining this fabulous network, and we thought at that time we were working on entrepreneurship, building a blueprint towards building an entrepreneurship and innovation center in Majan. And the Omani government is basically exploring how universities contribute to entrepreneurship, innovation, and so on. So within that context, we saw the initiatives that's been done by Dr. Mullika and her team within SUT, and this is where we have applied through the exchange. Now, this exchange program is basically centered around enhancing entrepreneurship and innovation, education and research at Majan University College. And as the head of Faculty of Business Management here, my primary objective is to gain insights from the exchange university practices in these areas, with particular focus on the development of entrepreneurship, developing incubators and innovation centers. Now, as you can see, we've started this hashtag Majan in Thailand, and it's more than just an exchange visit. It's about understanding the cultures and the entrepreneurship cultures within the Thai environment. And Dr. Mullika has given me a really good deep dive glimpse on how that thing works. And I'm just going to show you some couple of things that we went through, and what we have gone through, our initiatives, and what we have covered, and what is our plan. So basically, SUT is known for its entrepreneurship and innovation initiatives. They have an academy over there, and they have well integrated the entrepreneurship studies within the not only business studies, within the agriculture, the IT, and so on. And we found this very interesting, because the traditional entrepreneurship mentality, at least here on this side of the world, is entrepreneurship is part of the business. It's always been part of the business. And what I found over there is a very interesting perspective. It's a unit on its own, where all the other specializations that come through it. It becomes a sandbox for testing ideas, whether you're from IT, business. Actually, funny enough, I didn't see much business there, mostly agriculture, IT, and so on. And that was very interesting. And I had that discussion with Dr. Mullika. So basically, our core objectives, or my core objective, is to foster innovation and entrepreneurship, and see how we could collaborate further within the realm of entrepreneurship, how we could basically enhance our traditional business studies, and move it from just the theoretical part of entrepreneurship to actual realization of business ideas, and commercialization of those projects, and provide a space for our students to build successful perhaps small companies, and help them in registering them, and so on. So, through that, I mean, this is one of the pictures. What you see here is from CEDA. It's not about ideas, it's about making ideas happen. And this is what I've seen. A lot of workshops, I've attended workshops happening over there live, and I've discussed things with the students. A lot of excitements happening. A lot of innovation stemmed from all these ideas. And, Dr. Mullika has gave me a very good glimpse as well, on the successful projects that came through this academy, and became successful businesses. I mean, fascinating enough. I've looked at sports medicine solutions that stems out from research, and then I saw another project that stems out from, I would say, sleeping pills developed through algae, which, by the way, I tested it in my hotel room, and I really slept well. So it was very interesting, and also many other things that came up through these projects. And this actually shows the power, the potential of how entrepreneurship and innovation centers could actually play a huge role in capitalizing on research and ideas, and theories, and in making them happen, and serving the community. And this is what exactly I wanted. My goal was, from this visit, to develop a blueprint that can help me bring this back to Oman, and develop a center that is, that encapsulates all these ideas in that sense. And what we've attended very interesting. I've had so many visits to CEDA, and then I had it to the Technopolis, which is the intellectual property center, and the place where successful ideas actually gets implemented or translated into proper commercialized idea. And there is a whole team of support that help those projects to come to realization in that sense. So we've explored their systems. We looked at the success stories, and what you see here is this is the briefing that they've given me: technology transfer and licensing, what happens over there, and how the legal part plays a huge role in ensuring that the students' projects are protected and they are encapsulated to commercialization ideas. So it was really interesting to look at it. And throughout, obviously, this exchange, I also had a glimpse on the Thai culture. And I found that the SUT was also responsible to taking care of the Royal Botanic Garden, which was a very interesting. I mean, for a Royal Botanic Garden under the king himself, giving it to a university to taking care of it, it's quite a privilege. And looking at that, I saw how much care and research happens there, and I looked at the amount of work, the researches that they are doing. So it was really fascinating, and this is where I was thinking, and I was talking with I had a chat with Dr. Mullika and also other members from SUT on how we could actually start collaborating both universities, especially the students' projects in both, and give them a platform, cross borders platform. That was the idea. And helping, giving them space. Omani students, for example, showcasing their projects in Thailand, and Thai students showcasing their projects over there. So give basically through the WTUN initiatives, and building on that initiatives, and building on the MOU, building basically a strong bridge where students across cultures across the globe could actually have a market, a space throughout the universities, because we believe that universities are a trusted body. They are not commercialized. They are trusted, and they do things for the common good. And having these commercialized product that stems out of research and stems out and goes through that meticulous checkpoints, showcases that, look, these products are done by students after careful research. They're not just commercialized in that way. And it provides a very good forum. So I was thinking how we could further build on it. And this is one of the things that we are actually planning to add in the MOU. We also discussed the challenges, whether they are the geopolitical challenges. Obviously, Thailand's situation is a bit different than Oman's situation. Thailand is very close to China, and the innovation part is a more national. It's a challenging thing because China is just across them, and innovation here is a really must. And I think Dr. Mullika, because of that, she's really doing an amazing job on ensuring that ideas are translated into reality. Here on our side, universities are just starting when it comes to entrepreneurship and innovation. I would say they're capitalizing on these ideas. So we're learning a lot on how SUT is doing it and how we could build on that knowledge, and and see what we can do, how we can compete, for example, with neighboring countries like Dubai, or the UAE, or Saudi Arabia in that sense, and how we could change the dynamic of the university from a theoretical one to more practical one. So trying to explore solutions. And this is what you see here is a meeting somewhere outside where Dr. Mullika took us to brainstorm ideas in the middle of a very beautiful hotel in a rural area somewhere in Thailand or somewhere in the surrounding area. And I think I think Anderson, if I remember, but please correct me, Dr. Mullika, and I apologize if I got it wrong. He's the expert of intellectual property, and I had a lot of discussion with him on how intellectual property is an important integral part. It's very new for us. When a student project comes here, intellectual property is primarily neglected. But now, when I brought this knowledge here, and it's going to become a primary thing for us. So we are envisioning a collaborative future between us. An MOU is certainly in the horizon. It's getting cooked. It's almost done. We've discussed it last week, and we are envisioning a lot. I mean, what you see here, this is, if you can see my screen, I hope you can. You can see my screen, right? So what you see here, Momentra, is the sleeping pill that I tried, as I said. And this Momentra is herbal, made of algae, and they showed me the huge tanks where they put the algae. It was so fascinating to see things that stems out from research getting converted to a real product that is commercialized, and it was really fascinating to see that. And also I met this group of young these group of young people who are basically developing a screening device for flat feet or sport injury and so on, to help those sport athletes and so on. So I looked at all these collaboration and projects, and I thought maybe this is exactly what I was speaking about, giving them a platform across the globe, and this could be a fascinating idea. So basically, this is a very nice picture. I took it from the botanist that has been taking care of the SUT. So in a nutshell, this collaboration has allowed has opened eyes for many potential collaborations. We are, at the moment, we are basically, and I've discussed this with Dr. Mullika, we are in the process of planning to develop an innovation and entrepreneurship center. And through the MOU, we'll be obviously using SUT's expertise, maybe have their staff coming over, supervisors selected by Dr. Mullika, and to help us develop it even further, maybe for 2 years or so on until our staff are trained. So that's basically the primary ideas on doing that, and also to open up doors between both universities on how students' projects exchange, staff faculty exchange, perhaps student exchange in that sense. And one of the things that is not related to the innovation and entrepreneurship initiative is I attended a class. I'm from the tourism and marketing background, tourism development and marketing, and I attended a class of tourism. I think it's related to hospitality, technologies, or innovation. And we had a challenge here of the locals accepting to work in the tourism field because of its long hours, because of a lot of cultural, maybe alcohol could be part of it, and so on. So a lot of these dynamics is making it difficult for students to enroll. So looking at the SUT class, I was thinking, we found a very great idea on how we could actually prepare the tourism. We changed the tourism program from a traditional tourism theoretical one to a more practical one that is focusing on preparing students to be ready for airports, travel markets, hospitality, and basically being able to be ready to operate on these systems immediately. So bringing technology because SUT, it's focused on technologies and bringing the technology with the tourism and see what we can do. So we are in the process of exploring that as well here. So these many ideas that comes up from the exchange really helps in many different ways. So yeah, I think that's it from me. I mean, in a nutshell, I mean, there are a lot of things to say, but I would like to hear maybe from Dr. Mullika. Maybe she could come in and see we can take this further. Thank you, Denise.
Thanks. Can I take maybe 5 minutes because I already arrived at home, so I can I can join from my computer, so it's easier for me.
Absolutely, Dr. Mullika, and thank you so much, Dr. Ammar, for that overview of your visit, and also the seeds and the start of what I know has already been a very fruitful collaboration with Suranaree University of Technology. It was really also really nice for me personally to see some of the photos and recognizing some of the things in the photos and some of the people as well, having visited Suranaree University of Technology in 2022 for where they hosted the WTUN Congress there as well. So and you were correct, it is Lars Anderson because I recognize him from his photo as well. So you did get the name right there. We do have a couple of attendees that there's no questions in the Q&A at the moment. So if anyone watching does want to ask any questions to either Dr. Ammar or Dr. Mullika, please feel free to pop those in there. But in the meantime, I was just wondering, you mentioned, of course, the MOU and plans for ongoing collaboration with SUT and Majan and the sort of harmonies and the things that you see, the impact that could be had between your institutions, but also in the wider, so with Oman and the relationship with Thailand as well, and potentials there. In terms of sort of, I suppose, specifics, if we just looked ahead maybe in the next 12 months or so, is there any plans that you have either working directly with SUT or anything that the WTUN and its members could support to engage and work with you further in this area?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the first goal for us is to sign the MOU, which is quite detailed. Myself and the team in Majan are working on different ways of collaboration that actually checks on so many different boxes that are common for both SUT and MUC. And in this year, we have, because of this exchange program, we sent also our students. That's the first camp that they have attended, and as far as I'm hearing from them, they're really excited and they're having a fabulous time. We're waiting for them to come in. So once I think we go ahead with the MOUs, and I think it will be quite quick. We'll start building on guest lectures. That's the first thing. We'll be embedding guest lectures from SUT, and hopefully we could be as well guest speakers in SUT. We'll have some of our lectures would be there, even online, and so on. And we will be thinking about maybe student exchange, faculty exchange, how we could happen. That process requires a bit of planning, but it's definitely my team and us, we are very much open, and I know Dr. Mullika is really open for it and excited for it. So I think the first goal for us is to build those relationships with students, faculty, being guest speakers, and so on, and exchange these ideas together in order to understand both cultures and what is expected from us, and then have visits perhaps for specific projects. Maybe provide platforms for SUT projects in Oman, see if we can help in commercializing them, and our projects can be commercialized over there, and see how we could collaborate across institutions. And I think that's I think what we are planning in the head, and it's a big grand plan, and I think it is achievable. We can, as long as we start with something, it will lead to more common projects together.
Thank you so much. It was interesting as well just to hear you talking about the different like the emerging nature of focus on entrepreneurship and innovation at MUC, and also within Oman, and exactly as you said, I think regardless of where institutions in different countries or different regions are in their own journey with entrepreneurship in curriculum, I think most institutions are going through a similar thing at the moment, sort of coming out of the business school, taking it into interdisciplinary learning. Certainly here in the UK, there is increasing evidence, and we're hearing it from the generation of students that are coming through, but also from sort of the political environment, that universities are having to, more than ever, I think, sort of demonstrate their value and demonstrate their worth, and being able to articulate even more than ever they're taking research into commercialization and being able to do that, but also competing with attracting students who already perhaps naturally the generation that already have that sort of innovation and entrepreneurship spirit. They already see that as a viable career path. Perhaps we're seeing the first generations that aren't thinking about the traditional perhaps route into certain careers or jobs. They want to be entrepreneurs, so they want to have ownership and maybe multiple streams of things going on, and regardless of the discipline that they're interested in. And I think that universities being able to, as you said, being that trusted body, and being able to really articulate that these things can happen side by side, regardless of the course that you do or the program, that you will have the opportunity to have that entrepreneurial education and mindset and education and apply it back to your own area of interest. So it was really exciting to hear that, and especially given the reason that we're here, which is the World Technology Universities Network, being sort of scientific and technology focused institutions, being able to take, like you said, great example of the sleeping pill. That was really really fascinating. It was great to see the pictures of the students there, but that's deep scientific research, looking at that, something, taking an innovative product, but actually then thinking already about commercialization, taking it into the real world and shortening that journey and making it sort of work for people was really interesting. I can see that we're joined by Dr. Mullika, and thank you so much, Dr. Mullika, because I know that you've just arrived home from a long journey back from Bangkok, and you've come straight to join us. So we couldn't be more grateful. Perhaps you could add in some information about your own experience of being a host to Dr. Ammar, and also the work that you're doing at SUT there as well.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Ammar, for choosing us at that time. And I think it's interesting because at first I have no connection with Oman, at all, no one. But then when we start talking, when Dr. Ammar, visited us, and we start discuss about way we can work together or even sharing experience, and we see there is an opportunity that two universities, from different sides of the world can work together and share experience and things that we could learn from each other. I think that is amazing. That wow, that suddenly we have connection, with the other part of the world, and from that visit, we just finished yesterday. We welcome six students, right? From Oman, from Majan University College, and one lecturer, which is Dr. Ali, who joining their students to SUT for global entrepreneurship camps. And this is another chance to experience, more about Omani and Majan, that their students really, have to. I think one challenge about working across culture is about understanding and adaptation, which is very important for new generation. It's further, because that's the world is, there's no limit anymore. You have to work with others. You have to understand each other. Product can be sold out, with to expand market to other countries, but without understanding and adaptation, it's no point. It have less opportunities. So this time we have we are so honored that they come, and then we have chance to learn more about them. And I think they have a little bit of challenge this time. With adjusting, it seemed that they are more content, like in a protected, maybe in some environment. Then when they suddenly exposed to new culture and many more cultures from, because we have a student from about 11 universities joining from all over the world, and from Europe, from Southeast Asia, and Middle East. And it's interesting. And then they have a little bit of difficulty at first, but then later, they are so happy with their friends, and they're truly global, mindset and understanding, and it is very, very nice. And we have discussed about collaboration through the students and Mr. Ali as well. And the students said, this is good opportunity. This is like they think they could learn, and they could bring home about what they learned and change, and they can tell more stories about entrepreneurship, about problems, about culture, different viewpoints, and I think it's amazing that that students have, at first they struggle, and then they start to accept, and then to open to learn, and to open to understand other culture. So I think that is another good opportunity from Dr. Ammar exchange project, and then later we developed into this collaboration in terms of sending student and another faculty member to our university to join the global camp. And I think when they back home tomorrow, because today they would stay in Bangkok, but tomorrow I think Dr. Ammar will hear a lot about what they, their exposures or experience and what they want to do or what they want to change or what they want to improve, something like that. So yeah, it's amazing. So we are looking forward to more activities. We discussed with I discussed with Dr. Ammar and Dr. Maha that we can share this expertise and shared experience and through many more activities. And at first I plan to go to Oman through the exchange program as well, and start building this concept, to realize the concept just from not just discuss about things now, and then we should really try to start and do something to start the activity in Oman. So that would be the future activities between SUT and Oman and Majan. Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mullika. I think that you put that the way you summarize that at the end really reinforced exactly what Dr. Ammar was saying about the whole purpose of your collaboration was the theoretical into the practical. So you've talked about your opportunities, you've identified the shared interest, and now you want to get busy doing it and putting them into practice, which I think also demonstrates both of your attitudes to action orientated, very driven by doing, I think, which is why you both, I think, are also attracted to the entrepreneurship and innovation fields. One thing from a WTUN perspective, I wanted to ask as well, because we do have a new member who's just joined the network as recently as last week, and we're very much hoping that they will participate in the exchange and get to know one of our members. And Majan, MUC joined in November 22, and one of the first activities that we supported and we were very encouraging to get involved with. I think it was live for applications, and so had to work with them very quickly to say, if you could be involved with anything in your first year of membership, I definitely recommend an application to the exchange fund, because I think that it's as we've seen it, although we're so connected by technology, and obviously we're here today speaking in 3 different regions, there is still little that can be replaced by a physical, meeting and going and visiting and embedding yourself in another institution's environment. But on that note, Dr. Ammar, perhaps from MUC's point of view, as a newer, although it's been over a year now, a newer member of the WTUN, just in terms of returning back to Majan, and also then I guess being one of our early ambassadors and adopters of the opportunities that membership of the WTUN has for your institution, is there anything that you would say about the impact that you've seen, or perhaps the awareness that this is raised within your own institution, and whether this is colleagues, or of course we've seen students are now very keen to be a part of this, but if there are other colleagues or other ideas that you think that are going to come out perhaps as a result of this engagement?
Thank you, Denise. Yeah, absolutely. Before I go there, thank you, Dr. Mullika. I just want to comment on one thing, if you don't mind, Denise.
Of course, please.
It wasn't just an educational for our students. It wasn't just an educational camp. It was, I would say, a cultural kind of, as rightly Dr. Mullika said, they've been closed, they've been protected, in a way. And when they go there and they see different cultures, they basically, say, okay, so things are happening differently here. The thought process happens in different, and this is what exactly we wanted. And this was the idea. And, I remember the first time when I was talking about this with Dr. Susan, I said, we need to just open up the fuses and let them figure it out. And the only way to figure it out is to mingle around with different cultures during the camp. And a lot of these students have some of their businesses, small businesses, and we want them to see a different thought process in order, because we have done interviews with, I don't know, 30 so students or so on. And through the interview process, we brought the students, and we wanted the students who really could benefit from it, the students who could have some businesses or who are starting or planning to start some business. And so definitely it was a cultural exchange idea. And coming to your question, Denise, absolutely, it was the hype. Actually, that visit was the hype. I had to come back, and then I've done a presentation. Obviously, Dr. Susan. I mean, she was like, "Okay, you're coming back, and you need a presentation. You need to tell us everything about it." So we did that. I did that, and our colleagues were really excited. And I had several meetings with different departments, not only academics. I mean, I had discussions with the e-learning department on how this network, how could they explore new e-learning technologies for universities, perhaps, or I had a discussion with the facilities manager, because I saw that in SUT how many buses they have, and I was like, God, how are they taking care of all these fleets? I mean, one bus after the other, and then they were explaining how this whole thing is centralized. I was like, okay, our facilities manager needs to come. Obviously, our camp is smaller, but understanding and how things work and the systems is really beneficial in a way. So, they're really excited. We've been talking about applications and how we could find projects that could, but most of the projects we were thinking about are the community project and college project, like any project that could help the college and the community. So they are, as we speak, our colleagues are exploring the universities within the network in order to see what kind of university suits their kind of project. So the impact is huge, Denise. It's an eye-opener. I mean, I travel a lot, but still, through this exchange, it's an eye-opener, and that's what I tell them. Sometimes you go for something, but it opens up doors for so many other things in many ways. And yes, I went to the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Blueprint, but we got so much more than that. Much more than that. We're talking about improving programs. We're talking about exchanging staff, exchanging students. We're talking about sharing commercialization. It's not just the center. The center was the core, obviously, but the WTUN, have done a fantastic job in bringing universities together, bridging these, different cultural mindsets within the educational institutions. So the impact is huge, and we are planning to hopefully look at projects and through the WTN continue exploring how we could improve things here and how we could improve, sustainability. And Oman is obviously His Majesty and his government is focusing a lot on the sustainability and environmental sustainability and trying initiatives in that sense. And so we will be working on that as well in the future. So yeah, huge impact. Very excited for what is coming in, and I've been assigned as well by the college to myself and Dr. Susan to talk to any potential participants who wants to join the WTN and see how I could benefit them in this exchange, any advice I could give them, and more than happy to be promoting the WTN network and the impact, the great impact it has. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for that. I will just perhaps hand back over to either of you just for maybe some closing words or reflections, particularly as I know that you're hot off the last couple of weeks of the Global Entrepreneurship Camp, which thank you so much as well to the students that have been contributing to the Majan in Thailand and some of the YouTube videos. I have been following along with some of those, and I need to catch up because the content that they've been collating, and I'm sure I've only seen the half of it as well. So I think you're going to be very busy in the next couple of weeks with 6 very excited students that are probably wanting to come and shake things up, and you're going to have to respond to all of the ideas and demands for change, and all of these brimming ideas, and Dr. Susan, I think, has actually joined us as an attendee as well. So yeah, I think you may well be quite busy with receiving those, but I just wanted to just for anyone that is watching or watching back, that the applications for the WTUN Exchange Programme 2023-24 is open, as you alluded to, and the deadline for applications is the 21st of March. So there's plenty of time to have a consider, as you suggested that colleagues at MUC are already doing, looking through the existing membership information is on the WTUN's website. There are 18 grants available of £2,000 each, and it would be remiss of me not to just also highlight that, yes, of course, this is available to our academic colleagues, but also, again, Dr. Ammar, you also touched on this, it's also for professional services and colleagues engaged in all kinds of activities within the institutions. So we've been really successful in having, of course, we're exchanging researchers, and often it's the researchers that come through early because they're used to perhaps putting in bids for funding. It's part of their bread and butter is securing bids and applying for funding. But professional services, teaching and learning, it's not just the hard research, it's also other engagements as well, but also PhD students at institutions. So sort of the second level that we often have seen, and we're starting to see this now, we're in a few years into the exchange program, is perhaps repeat visits. And Dr. Mullika, you also alluded to a return visit, a reciprocal visit perhaps to MUC yourself, but also that staff are going, engaging, starting a collaboration, and then in the next year or the following cycles, having a PhD student or equivalent then applying also to the exchange program as well, and continuing that work. So yes, please do, anyone who is a member of the WTUN that's thinking about applying, we would definitely encourage you to consider doing that. And you can find out more information via your operational board member. Again, you can find their details on our website, or you can contact the WTUN at bradford.ac.uk, and Saffron or myself will help guide you through that process. But I don't know how I open this, either perhaps just to either of you, maybe Dr. Mullika, if you have something to say finally, and then we'll close with Dr. Ammar.
Yeah, thank you, Denise. Well, for me, I think from the start of, I think, how many years ago, we could continuously apply for exchange program. We hosted and visited, some of our faculty members visited other partner universities for the exchange and come back with things. So I think the exchange program is really the starting point. The money is not much, but you can start doing something with that money, especially, the traveling, allowance. I mean, that would be travel cost is a big part. So that money can cover that travel cost, but it's enough to start doing something. I think the exchange program for WTUN is really a good platform for many things, because you can see that some others network you might get some funding, but just for research. But for WTUN, there is cover variety of activities, especially to strengthen. I think the beauty of the exchange program is to strengthen, or even to initiate and strengthen network. I think that is meaningful, because if we don't work together within the network, how the network will go on? Because we don't see the value of the network. So the exchange program is that. I think for me, the valuable part of the exchange program is to initiate and to strengthen, collaboration within the network. So I encourage everyone, start thinking about applying for the exchange program.
Thank you. And Dr. Ammar, did you have any final words before we close? And I thank you for your time.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, I'd like to again thank WTUN for their great initiative. What WTUN has done is basically, it's an eye opener. It could be an eye opener and transforming ideas in a way, and allowing, I would say, I'm echoing what Dr. Mullika just said, allowing institutions and individuals across different cultures to promote more understanding on the role of how, different cultures, different systems, perhaps different technologies used in different universities can be applied in a different way. And I think that's the true meaning of global citizenship, providing them with opportunities. I would advise anyone who's thinking or having a specific project on their mind to think and to really apply for the WTN exchange program or similar projects in any of the universities that are part of the network. Collaborating in research, knowledge transfer is invaluable. Yes, the money is not big, but the amount of knowledge gained and the value that comes with it in addressing, I would say, local and global challenges are, you can't put any money on that. It helps a lot in developing so many things. So I would advise anyone who has a project, who has a problem, who has an issue within their institutions, to think outside the box and see what others are doing before coming up with ideas. Maybe there is a wheel that is working so well somewhere within the network that they could enhance, they could bring back to where they are. So thank you, WTN. Thank you, Dr. Mullika, for your generous and for kind hospitality again. It was a fabulous experience. You never know. Maybe next time, in a couple of years or something, I might have a project and come back to WTN and see if I could use one of the network universities. But when I do, I will definitely do that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, both of you, for your time and joining us to hopefully reflect and bring back some very fond memories as well of your trip to SUT's beautiful campus. It's an area of Thailand that I was very excited to visit. So it always makes me feel nostalgic too as well when I talk about it. But I think both from both perspectives, having the visitor and also the host here to talk about it was really, really valuable. And I think very very strong ambassadors for the work that we're doing and the opportunities that can come out of this. So I feel like we're going to hear much more out of the SUT MUC relationship in the future, and I look forward to being a part of that in any way that we can. We're just coming up to the hour, so unless anyone else has anything to contribute, I would like to thank you sincerely on behalf of the WTUN for your time, especially after a very busy couple of weeks, Dr. Mullika, with the students there in Thailand. And yes, I look forward to seeing you. Of course, as our chair of the operational board, I'll be seeing you much sooner, I'm sure, Dr. Mullika. But otherwise, have a lovely evening. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, Dr. Ammar, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely. Take care.